What's up, comic book fans, and welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me, and today we got the infamous issue 350 of Spawn. And by the end of this issue, someone new finally sits at the throne of hell, and everything from here on out changes for Spawn's universe. So if you're ready to find out who becomes the new overpowered big boss in this record-breaking 350th issue, then you know what time it is. Let's get it. So we begin this issue with Spawn in the Infernal Keep, and since the dawn of time, the Throne of Hell has been one of the most powerful objects in the universe. But in order to claim it and wield its power, one will have to be either a creature of hell or one who's been marked by it. Across the realm, others wait to see who will emerge as the new ruler of hell, and among them is Spawn's former wife, Wanda Fitzgerald. Wanda had escaped from heaven and traveled to hell in order to help Spawn get to the Infernal Keep, and now that he's there, her role is fulfilled, and now all she can do is watch from the sidelines and hope that she's done enough, because nowhere in creation will be safe to exist if Spawn fails his mission. As we then see She-Spawn, Jessica Priest, and the rest of the Spawn crew, and they're on the hunt for Sin, the overpowered entity formerly known as Cagliostro, and I place a card up top for the video on the issue where Cogs became Sin. But as these guys are now realizing that nobody's got eyes on him and he's already made it inside the keep, then they've got to hurry because they can't let Sin get to that throne. As they make their push, there's a massive explosion of light from inside the keep, which means that they're too late. Someone has sat at the throne and hell now has a new king. But who? We don't yet know. Then we go back to 10 minutes earlier, and not only has Sin breached the inner wall, he easily wrecks everyone that steps in his way, and he's quickly closing in on his cherished prize, the throne of hell. And as he gets closer, he's met with the clown, a familiar face who's also after the throne of hell. And the hatred that these two have for one another goes back a long way, and they waste very little time before they begin the battle. It was almost a millennia ago when Clown promised Sin that as long as he lived, no hell spawn would ever sit at hell's throne. Their beef is so old that it's outlived entire civilizations. But with this fight today, their feud will finally end, as we see the two of them fight with everything they've got, and then Clown turns into Violator and takes this fight up a notch. And as they continue this hellish scrap, they're watched from above by the rotting skull of Malbosia, the last true king of hell, their former master, still watching over their rivalry as he did for thousands of years. And it was his death, in fact, that started this entire crisis. And he would have loved to have seen the amount of chaos and destruction that's happened since the moment of his fall. And as Sin and Violator continue this massive battle, Sin is then blasted in the back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Spawn has entered the fight. And Spawn continues to lay the blast on thick with this super weapon of his. And this massive weapon is a thing of beauty, forged deep in heaven's celestial furnace with countless experimentations on captured soldiers from hell, designed specifically to eliminate a necroplasm-powered hell Spawn with a single lethal shot. But the only problem for Spawn is that Sin has the power of an army of hell Spawns coursing through him, and he just straight up eats those shots and screams back at Spawn, "Was that it, Simmons? You've had all this time to prepare, and that was the best you could do?" But Spawn can't let him get on that throne, so he charges in, and now this has become a triple threat brawl between Spawn, Sin, and Violator. And it's kind of fitting, because Spawn as a series pretty much started with these three. And now the three of them are giving their all to stop the other from sitting on their former master Malbosia's throne. But Sin is just so overpowered now that he's able to get the upper hand on Spawn, and then he drops him with a blast of his own. But then is struck across the face by the claws of Violator, leaving Sin with a massive scar on his face. Violator refuses to let Sin or any other human ever get to that throne. But it's not enough for Sin, who retaliates with a massive blast on Violator, putting him down. And then he begins to stalk Violator, and tells him that the reason he never ruled hell is that he's trapped in the past. A human will sit upon that throne, either myself or Simmons, but under no circumstance will I allow it to be you. You aren't built to handle its power. There's a reason your master never put the symbiote on one of his own. He knew a Hellborn was incapable of being a master, or how to go beyond that. Just dropping bars on old clown. And then he ends it with, you see, I'm a god now. And Sin just straight up rips the dome piece of Violator smooth off. Sheesh. I told y'all, he OP now. And then Sin looks back at Spawn and encourages him to stay down. There's no need for him to die today too. But Spawn's chain snapped as if he's ready to continue this fight. So Sin happily obliges. And now Spawn is putting up one hell of a fight. He's giving everything he's got. But Sin is just an absolute beast right now. A legit powerhouse. And as he puts Spawn down, he begins to stalk him as well, telling Spawn that he can't beat him. He can only make him stronger. And as Sin begins to drain the life from Spawn, we see that massive explosion of light. Someone has sat upon the throne and it wasn't Sin or Spawn. Then we go back to 5 minutes ago, right before Spawn entered into this fight, and he's talking with someone that's off panel. And this person tells Spawn that he can't do this. I don't care what I have to do. You can't take the throne. And Spawn's reply to this person is that he knows he can't take it. And that's not why he's here. It's you, he tells this person. You're the one who needs to take it. I don't want it, the person replies. But Spawn tells them that it doesn't matter what we want anymore. In the next few minutes, someone's taking it. Unless you step up, it can't be any of the rest of us. And whoever sits on it, their powers multiply. I can't be trusted with that kind of power. As Al then recaps a recent conversation with Wanda, where she tells him that he can't take the seat. She knows he thinks that he'd be doing the right thing, but the throne would turn him into something he doesn't want to become. It corrupts everything. There has to be someone else. Then Spawn continues to tell this mysterious person that it needs to be you. You understand this world more than any of the others, and you'd have the best chance of resisting the throne's influence. But this person rebuts to Al that I can't even if I wanted to. I'm not from hell. But Spawn assures this person that you can. Anyone marked by hell can take it. Nyx. As Nyx is revealed as the mysterious person, and as the former She-Spawn before Jessica Priest, she has been marked. And Spawn continues to tell her that it was long ago, but you still bear that mark from your time being a Spawn. I know I don't have any right to ask this, not after everything, but as they're then interrupted by the sound of the fight between Clown and Sin, and Spawn knows that they'll be here any second, so he decides to go and meet them, but he tells Nyx that she'll need to decide soon, and for what it's worth, I'm sorry for all of this. And as Spawn runs out to fight with Sin and Clown, for a moment, Nyx considers leaving, because she doesn't know if she can make that kind of sacrifice. But she walks into the throne room, and in the end, she did. Nyx made the sacrifice and took the throne and the power. And now we see that she's got one hell of a new look now as she proclaims that this war is now over. Hell is under her control now. And for her first order of business, she looks to Sin and tells him that he has much to answer for. To which he screams, "You dare!" and lunges at Nyx, but she just raises her hand and completely wipes him out. Then she looks to Spawn and tells him, "On your feet, Simmons. It should never have come to this. We could have worked together, could have found another solution. But no one tells the great Spawn what to do, right? Except it's the rest of us who must bear the cost of your pride, of your arrogance, of your mistakes. When did you become like them? I don't know why it happened, but somewhere along the line you lost your way. You need to change that, and soon, because I can see far beyond all of this now, and you have no idea what's coming for you. Now leave my sight. You're no longer welcome in hell, not anymore. And as he tries to apologize to her if he's made any mistakes, she teleports him away and says goodbye. Then Nyx is met with the chief custodian of the Infernal Keep, Alzafont, who congratulates her on her ascension, but her response to him is to spare her his groveling and bring a list of potential candidates for a new advisory council. And this guy tries to question her decision, but she tells him that she won't repeat herself, so he quickly gets the hint, and she sits back atop the throne of hell as its new leader, and now everything on Earth is about to change. And then we're taken back to Earth for an epilogue, as seeds are being planted from hell and heaven, all of them equally confused as to why. As we then see Spawn as he's teleported there from the Infernal Keep, and he screams for Wanda because he doesn't yet know what's happened to her. And now he questions what it is that he just did. Then he's met with Jessica Priest, she Spawn. And she's like, if you're here after everything, does that mean we've lost? But Spawn responds that he doesn't think we'll know that for a while because he let Nyx take the throne. And while she Spawn reminds him that Nyx is part of Green World, Spawn questions if she Spawn has saw anybody else vanish because Wanda was with him in hell. Her soul was sent there by heaven, but he could see something was happening to her, and he thinks that it happened to all of them. But the conversation is cut short when they're met with these creatures that come up behind them. And on instinct, Spawn reacts, but nothing happens. It appears he's lost his powers. But he's nowhere near a dead zone, so this is incredibly strange for him. But he at least is quickly able to realize that his opponent's blows aren't as severe, so they must have lost their powers as well. And that changes things, because Al Simmons is still skilled at what he does. And he and Jessica are able to take out these guys as they both now realize they don't have their powers. So as they try to figure out why they've lost their powers, they decide to call out to the rest of the team to find out how widespread this power outage is. And Redeemer and Monolith are experiencing the same problem. No powers. But then the Spawns are interrupted by one of the creatures they just fought as it laughs at them from the ground, taunting them that they don't have a clue what's happening. The dead zones. Did you think this day wouldn't come? He asks. That there'd be no consequences to all your interference? You locked us out, Spawn, for so long. That ruined everything, letting Heaven and Clown ram their armies through them and allowed a haunt inside. You've broken them, every damn dead zone. And now that someone sits on the throne, everyone's gonna pay for what you did, including you. The Green World is taken over, because while you disappeared into hell, the dead zones have been expanding and expanding, and now they've grown large enough to cover your entire planet. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of issue 350. So what did you guys think? Did it live up to the hype of being a record-breaking issue? What's Spawn gonna do now that the dead zones cover the entire planet and he's got no powers? I thought this did a good job of giving us one of those original moments with the beef between Spawn, Clown, and Sin, formerly known as Cagliostro. And I also liked how the story was told kind of in reverse, how everyone's perspective of that moment was different all the way up until Nyx took the throne. But all in all, I really enjoyed this issue, and it's cool to see this new direction Spawn goes in from here. I think this will be a good jumping in point to continue to follow Spawn's universe from here and see where it leads. So I hope you guys are into Spawn, because I've got a few more Spawn videos coming your way with King Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, The Scorched, and issue number 351 of Spawn. So definitely let me know in the comments how we're feeling about Spawn and if you're ready for what's to come. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel and you'd like to support the channel, then you could do so by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And I'll make sure to put a link in the description to join. But with your membership, you'll gain access to weekly interactive live streams with yours truly. And we can talk about everything going down in these issues, as well as ones that you'd like for me to go over in the future, and other comic book news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and more in these videos. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do that, then you can still be a tremendous help to this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons. for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.